Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gannon, alongside my partner, Jack McNicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you not had the chance, go check out our website at justsayingfootball.com and follow us on Instagram at justsayingwjs for article and video updates. Jack, Thursday Night Football in Week 15 is going to be crucial for the AFC West because we have a division showdown there when the Kansas City Chiefs make their way to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. Now, Kansas City only has a one-game lead over the Chargers, and they've lost to the Chargers already this year earlier on in Kansas City. This is a crucial game as we enter in who's going to win the AFC West, who's going to make it in the playoffs. This is a critical game for both of these teams.
Yeah, absolutely critical game. And both of these teams are teams that we definitely want to see in the playoffs, but, they are looking like playoff teams. It's really just depending right now. We've been talking about it for weeks, how there really isn't a number one team in the AFC right now that we could just say, yep, they could take it all. All these teams have flaws. Both of these teams right now, we're getting them at a good time. What we're looking at with Los Angeles, they have struggled a little bit on defense, but, they have won two straight. They have, they allowed less than 22 points in both games. They scored more than 37 in their last two games. Very impressive. Their offense, they've put up 40 three times this year. And, Kansas City coming in, off of six straight, we were doubting them going into, that Giants game where they were 3-4 and then they won. They haven't lost since then.
Yeah, no, they started that 3-4 season. Everyone was like, question marks on the Chiefs. Yeah. Is this done? Is this done? Granted, not all of their games since then have been pretty, but the most important thing is exactly what you said. 6 wins in a row, bringing them up to 9-3 currently, or 9-4, I'm sorry. And this is exactly what you want to see. This is exactly what you expect out of the Andy Reid team and offense and all those things. But going back to this game, man, Herbert was electric earlier this year. 26 for 38, 281, and 4 touchdowns. That is exactly what you want to see from your second-year quarterback in a division game up against, Patrick Mahomes and the Super Bowl winning Chiefs and all these different kinds of accolades that go along with winning him. It's now back-to-back wins for him against Kansas City. That's another huge thing. Granted, that last year's matchup, Patrick Mahomes didn't play in. So you got to just take that with a grain of salt, obviously. But it was Mahomes that wasn't super impressive in this game. 27 to 44, 260, 3-2 touchdown interception ratio. He was turning the ball over early. We haven't been seeing that a lot now. So this could be a very different game. And I just have to highlight one person who I feel like has not been getting a lot of credit, or at least not getting enough credit that he deserves, is Austin Eckler. I think I bring him up every single week. No joke. I think I talk about him. 161, 730, and 9 touchdowns on the ground to match with 75 receptions, 535 yards in the air, and another 7 touchdowns. This is the best season that he's had as a running back. This is the most yards he's ever run for, the second most yards he's ever received for in his career. And he's just playing great. Now they get Keenan Allen back from the COVID list. This is what you want to see. This is exactly where your offense wants to be coming into this late season now.
No, definitely. And, this is the time where, it's December, mid-December, where the teams get hot. I know that, we have an extra game here this year, but that only means so much more. And when you're looking at Kansas City, for me, it's also just Tyreek Hill, who has had, some issues in the passing game this year. He is nothing but like one of the best receivers in the league. He's had double-digit targets in almost every single game this year, but the last 2 weeks, only 9 targets over the last 2 weeks, 6, no touchdowns in, 3 weeks. So we're looking for him to maybe have a really good game. The Chargers, though, where they are really different with this Kansas City team is the Kansas City team right now. We've mentioned that, they have a hot streak of letting the last 3 games. They haven't allowed more than 10 points. They're the 6th best defense when it comes to scoring. And Los Angeles, they're the 26th best defense when it comes to scoring, so not what you want to see, but they do have the 4th best passing offense, which is a good passing defense where it can really shut down Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. That's going to be their main goal, this year.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do whenever you play Kansas City. Shut down Travis Kelce and shut down Tyreek Hill, which are not easy things to do. No. Last time these two teams played, they were not able to shut down Kelce. He went off for 7 receptions, 104 yards, and Hill had a modest game of 5 receptions for 56 yards, still 10 plus yards per reception. Just you got to talk a little bit about some COVID. Rashawn Slater, left tackle for Chargers, on the COVID reserve list, will not be active for Thursday Night Football. Defensive side of the ball for Kansas City. No Chris Jones, arguably, or not arguably, their best defensive player, Chris Jones, is going to be on this one, also on the COVID reserve list, meaning, guys like Alex Okafor are going to need to step up. Guys like Melvin Ingram are going to need to step up for this defense. And I think that's going to be a crucial part of this team. And it's going to be a huge spot that we're going to be seeing. How much does this defense rely on Chris Jones? Do they take a step back when he's not anchoring the defensive line anymore? Because whether or not people like it, Chris Jones is one of the best defensive linemen in the entire NFL. You can line him up anywhere on that front four easily. He traditionally plays left defensive end. You can put him up in the defensive tackle position, put him up in the nose tackle position. He has a field day against offensive lines. This is a huge loss for this team. And yes, same with Rashawn Slater, but it just doesn't seem, it seems like their offense can still survive with no Slater, but I don't feel like Kansas City's defense can survive without Chris Jones.
Yeah, there's just huge losses in the trenches on both sides. Like you said, we have a really talented rookie, and then Chris Jones, who, as you mentioned, one of the bigger defensive linemen on this team. He has 7 sacks right now, leading the team. No one else has more than 3. So it's definitely a huge loss to their pass rush. Justin Herbert's going to be a lot more comfortable, a lot more dump offs, but there's going to have to be people on Kansas City's defense who steps up to this challenge. For me, their defense has just been able to get it done. Their offense is sustaining long drives. I do believe that, this is going to be a test for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs of the divisional matchup, big things on the line. I do believe they will come out with the victory, honestly, which is tough because, I love this Chargers team. I want to see them, get really, pumped, and it's a young team with a lot on them. But, even though they're at home, it's tough for me to bet against Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm going to go with LA just to defer from you, but also I just think that the way that LA has been playing has been fantastic. We saw what Herbert did last week to your Giants. I'm sorry, but that end of the first half throw, that 60-yard bomb that he threw as he was getting tackled was just unreal. And I'll jump on board. I love the way that the offense operates. I don't as much improved as this KC defense has been playing since the very start of the season, which was atrocious.
Yeah, the worst.
Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, these guys are great at what they do. You can throw Jared Cook into that mix. He's an old tight end, but when he shows up big. I just think their offense is going to be a little bit too much. I think that they can, and the way that this Chargers defense can really kind of plan around Hill and Kelsey, I think they'll be able to, one of them is going to have a big game. I don't think you're going to ever be able to shut down. It's very rare we ever see them have sub 50-yard games. It's happened from time to time, but it's super rare. I don't think that will be the case in this one. I do also think it's going to be pretty high scoring. These are 2 high scoring offenses, both ranked 8th in the league with 27 points per game. So I do expect it to still be like 25 plus points per team. But when push comes to shove, I trust that Chargers defense a little bit more. I like what Herbert's been doing all year in his second year. I think it's only going to be great for this playoff matchup when we finally see them. We're going to see kind of like almost maybe like a Tampa Bay, New Orleans Saints kind of vibe for the playoffs, that they both meet each other, similar to how we saw last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And, for me, I think it's going to be just, like you said, just a high scoring game. This is the first week of the fantasy playoffs. There's so many fantasy relevant people. Just make sure you take your flex players out on Thursday night. It's a big week.
Yep.
But I'm excited, man. I think it's the Chiefs. You think it's the Chargers. We'll see who it is on Thursday night.
And speaking of fantasy, there is games on Saturday, so stay tuned for a special Saturday episode that we're going to be dropping. As for fantasy, obviously, just make sure you're paying attention that some teams are playing on Saturday, and no flexes on the Thursday. That's the one rule of just saying fantasy football. No Thursday flexes. It's not allowed. But that is all the time that we have. Thank you everyone for listening, and thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you guys for always checking us out. Just Saying Football. Enjoy this Thursday night game. Going to be a huge one. Division on the line. 2 awesome quarterbacks. And enjoy it. Thank you guys for checking us out. JustSayingFootball.com, Just Saying Football on YouTube, and Just Saying No GWJS on Instagram for all your video and article updates. Enjoy.